Before I came to Europe, I had already been told everything that I needed to know by the United States of America. That Europe was dangerous. The healthcare was horrible. The people there were not free. And come to find out, there's no better way to say it. It was just a straight up lie. It just wasn't true. So we're going to look at a video here today called 6 Lies America Told Me About Europe, Life in the UK. Link will be in the description so you can head on over and support the creator. That would be great. Now, I've done videos like this on this channel already, but I do like seeing other people's perspectives. So I'm just keep doing them, see if anything new comes up and see what I can relate to. This is going to be a great video here. Before we get going, go ahead and like the video. That really does help a lot. Let's see what we can see.
Hey everybody, welcome back. International Carl doing another video for you. If this is your first time to my channel, please right now stop and hit the like button, consider subscribing, and as always, hit me in the comment section because those that have subscribed to my channel know that I'm always active in the comment section.
All right.
This video, we're going to talk about a couple lies that the United States pushes into us as Americans growing up. And let's talk about it right now. Let's get to it right now. Lie.
Oh, he's like me. A little double take there. It just didn't edit that out. I mean, I think it's cool. When you're a YouTube creator, you like seeing this. People are normal. So if you ever see one of those on my channel, you know, hey, that's just me being normal.
Number one.
Oh, number one.
This one is a funny one to me because in the United States, it's always, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're independent, I don't care where you're at on the political spectrum. You're always going to have a politician telling you that
they hate our freedoms, our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech, our freedom to vote and assemble and disagree with each other.
That's right.
Yeah, I have heard that. I have heard that they hate our freedoms. I think when I was little, like you just think that I don't know. I don't know what you think, that people in Europe are just like, they can't do anything. They can't start a business. They can't like walk the streets. I don't know. I mean, when you're little, that's what you think. And I grew up during a time where they didn't have the internet, okay, where the world is a lot smaller. So you just went by kind of what you were told. You know, I would say in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't like I was reading newspapers when I was 11. So you just didn't see stuff, you know? So that's what we were told. And people still today will tell you that they hate our freedoms. I don't know who, and that was the president of the United States was saying that.
Right. They hate us for our freedoms.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? As if nowhere else in the world has any freedoms. Like Europe. You know, in Europe, they act like if you come to Europe, there's just no freedoms. What freedoms do I not have here in Europe? You know, as these are Western democracies with Western values and culture that has been exported to the United States. And it's because
I'm curious to know that. That's a good question. Like, what freedoms do I have here? Wait, I want to hear that question again. Hold on.
Freedoms. What freedoms do I not have here in Europe?
Yeah. Yes, there you go. What freedoms do I not have here in Europe? What freedoms do you not have here in Europe? I mean, are we missing something? I mean, really, well, I'm trying to think. What freedoms do I not have here now that I'm here? Maybe, you know, I don't know. I can't even start to think, but maybe somebody out there can.
You know, as these are Western democracies with Western values and culture that has been exported to the United States.
That's right.
And it's become its own thing. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but freedoms exist here. I'm still scratching my head. What freedom do you have in America that I don't have here? Let's talk about freedom of speech, for example.
Yeah, okay. He's about to list it out. Okay.
In America, you have freedom of speech. In the UK, for example, you don't have freedom of speech. What you do have is freedom of expression. Slight different tweak, but let's give you an example. In America, you can be as racist as you want to somebody. You can walk up to me, walk up to any black person and say the N-word all day long if you want.
Right.
Where in the UK, you really couldn't do that because at some point you will cross a fine line of inciting racial hatred.
True statement. Is that true? I think I do know that it's true. I'm not sure about the UK. I have heard in Europe that that's true. Man. Okay. And isn't that crazy? I would say that in the United States, some people might actually say that, well, there you go. There's one of the freedoms right there. In America, I can say the N-word or anything else that I want to. And you can't do anything about it. I mean, I guess technically, yeah, that's a freedom that you don't have. But me, as one of the people that might get called one of those words, I think I'd rather live in a place where people can't just willy-nilly say whatever they want like that. So
if you define your freedoms based on your ability to call somebody an N-word or call some Asian American some type of offensive word, by all means, you can have that freedom. I don't need that freedom.
Exactly.
But other people in America talk about it like freedom for guns. Ooh, guns. They want to take your guns. Well, let's see. Here in the UK, can you have guns?
Yes.
Yes. Can you have a rifle? Yes. Can you have a handgun? Yes. What does the Second Amendment say in the United States? It's highly regulated. So what is it here in the UK? Guess what? It's highly regulated. There's lots of regulations around what type of gun,
right?
Where you have to store that gun, where you have to keep the ammunition, what do you have to do for the maintenance of that gun? Highly regulated. So you still have the freedom to have a gun. So if you define your freedoms as being able to have as many guns as you want in America, okay, fine, no argument. But I think that's a lie that they sell, that nobody here has any guns.
Yeah, that is a lie that they sell. But I would say I would say that one of the, like, what people might say is all the things this is a great video so far. What he's saying is that, you know, that basically in the United States, they have the freedom to not be regulated. So they would probably say, hey, if I go over to, you know, Spain or the UK or something like that, then they're going to regulate my guns and take them away. And I don't like that. That's and that's not being free. They want complete freedom. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Let's keep going.
Not true.
Not true.
Number 2. Social housing is a bad thing. It's something that you're supposed to segregate from the rest of the population. So, for example, in America, especially in LA where I'm from, or Southern California where I'm from, social housing, Section 8. Well, that's usually in a separate side of the city, not being seen. I don't even know where it's at, because where I grew up was nothing but beautiful homes, single family homes, no social housing. Where here in the UK, just in Europe in general, it's all sprinkled around you. For example, here in the UK, I live in a beautiful big house, beautiful executive style estate. I have a nice car, but guess what? On this estate and on several new estates, they all have social housing, and they do things that are different in the United States, or that they do here in the UK.
Well, yeah, that is true. They don't like social housing. I lived in a city in California called Pleasanton, which is pretty close to Oakland and San Francisco and Hayward. It's in the East Bay. And if you know anything about California, you may not, but you know, those are pretty diverse and a lot of low income housing in those areas. Pleasanton was not like that. I mean, they had a nice fancy mall. They did a lot of things to attract high income earners. Like 98%, 99% of their high school students went to college. Like, it was different. And they did not want affordable housing there. Like, my wife actually worked for an apartment complex, and the people who owned her company were like, no, we don't want affordable housing. In fact, I remember one time there was an election happening, and they asked her, she was so mad, I remember this. They asked her to go like door to door and put little hangers on the door against this affordable housing. which in this affordable housing complex that they were trying to bring to Pleasanton, which in Pleasanton, what that meant was instead of $3,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, you might pay like $1,800. So it wasn't like you were going to be getting a lot of people in there who are completely supported by the government, which has a negative connotation in the United States. It was just affordable, if to live in that city. And it just wasn't, they weren't just reaming you like, can you believe I just said 3,000? That's like, that ain't no joke. That's how much rent was in like a little 1-bedroom apartment or something like that. So yeah, they do not like affordable housing. I grew up in Las Vegas in an affordable housing like neighborhood. So, and it was pretty rough. So that might be for another video someday.
They wouldn't do or they don't do in the United States. United States, or that they do here in the UK, that they wouldn't do or they don't do in the United States. You can be on social housing, but guess what? You can partially own that house. So that way you can be on the track. So you can buy 10% of the home, 20% of the home, 50% of the home, and try to get all the way up to 100% of the home like me or you do. So that's a different strategy that they do so that social...
Really? Is this still, I mean, this video is probably about 3 or 4 years old, but is that really a thing? Like you can like, it's almost like a rent to own kind of thing or something where you can contribute a little bit at a time until you own the house. That's crazy. If that's a true statement. Is that a true statement? Somebody has to tell me that one.
Social housing
I mean, it's crazy in a good way. It's not crazy like, how could you do such a thing? It's crazy like, damn, that's pretty good.
50% of the home and try to get all the way up to 100% of the home like me or you do. So that's a different strategy that they do so that social housing is good for everybody, because that way the kids get to interact with all people from all social and religious economic backgrounds. And you as an adult get to work and meet and mingle with people from all different backgrounds. I think the neighborhoods are better for it. They're safer for it. Less crime, because guess what? If you're in an executive style estate, well, guess what? You want to keep your home value high. You want to keep it nice and looking new. And that's going to put pressure on the social housing to also keep their house nice, keep the estate looking nice and new and fresh. Right. So I think that's a myth. And I think that's something that should be revisited in the United States.
Oh, wow. That would be a great idea. I don't think it could work though in the United States because there's such a negative connotation behind it. And you would have a lot of people who basically believe that it's a handout and there shouldn't be those handouts. They don't like entitlements, as they call it. And they think that everybody should be able to it's America. You have all the freedoms. You have the freedom to take $1 in your pocket and turn it into a multi-million-dollar business. So the fact that you don't have anything is not America's problem. It's your problem because you didn't work hard to get out of the situation that was dealt to you. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be kind of tough to have that work in the US of A. Subscribe.
3. In America, they teach you this, that somehow being a hard worker means coming in early, staying late, never taking a vacation, and definitely don't call in sick.
Yeah.
That is like the biggest mistake you could ever make, faux pas you can make. I'll give you an example. When I was working for a large airframe manufacturer in the United States, I remember a friend of mine, we wanted to take 2 weeks off and go do something. Our managers looked at us like we were crazy because we wanted to have the audacity to take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And mind you, we didn't take any days off prior to that. We just wanted to take 2 weeks off in a year so we could go do something.
Yeah.
They were like, no, rejected, slim that down to a week. And I'm thinking, isn't that my time off to relax, to recharge my battery so I can come back to work? No. Now, I think minds and hearts have changed a little bit in the United States back from when...
I mean, maybe. Hold on. Let me finish hearing what he has to say. I do have something to say on this, so Don't stop watching just yet. Stay to the end, in fact. But anyway, let's let him finish.
When I started working back in the early 2000s, or mid 2000s, I should say, but that was a faux pas. Well, here in the United Kingdom and here in Europe, for example, it's encouraged to take time off. You get 20, 25 plus days off in mostly all European countries. I think by law in the European Union, you have to have 20 days off. So it's encouraged to take time off because either you use it or you lose it. And for example, I think Sweden, if I can find the article, it's on the screen now. But if not, Sweden is actually doing a trial where they're reducing the work hours to 6 hours to see if it increases productivity.
Oh, my Lord.
Because employers are seeing that the employees are more rested and more focused when they come back to work.
I remember when I was working, I was a manager. It was a multi-million-dollar, it was a gym. And it was a huge gym, like 180,000. It was an old Volkswagen, like, factory that they turned into a gym. So that tells you, I mean, like 8 tennis courts, 2 swimming pools. I mean, it was ginormous. And I was like the assistant general manager. And I remember my wife and I had a plan, like a vacation already set up for our anniversary. I don't remember what number it was. It might have been like, it's not relevant, maybe 15 or something. I don't know. And it just so happens, and we planned it before we knew, I think maybe even before I even got this job or something. I don't remember. But I do know that we had it planned, and it just happened to be when there was like a major event at the gym where every year they host one of the local high schools for an overnight, big old celebration and all these, booths and jumping houses and all of this stuff. And they didn't come right out and say you can't go, but I didn't go because I just had a feeling like, ooh, maybe I might not be able to go. And I think I started working for this company like in March, and this was in June. That's when our anniversary is. And so it was, I'm new. It's my first like big event. And I was like, oh, dang. So we had to reschedule our anniversary. I don't know. People might have done that differently somewhere else. I don't know. I mean, if you were in that situation where you are in the country that you're in, like, would they do that? Would they make you would they make you cancel your trip? Something like that? If it was like one of the biggest money makers of your company for the year, would they make you cancel your trip so you could be there because you're the leader of the whole team? I don't know. Let me know.
4, America sells you this, that capitalism and consumerism go hand in glove. It's like this cycle. You have to work to buy, to work again to pay for what you buy, to buy some more stuff, to then work again and go down this continuous loop.
This dude is good. That's true. Work to buy. Then hold on. Can you see my? Okay. Work to buy and work again to pay for what you bought. I like when he said that, because that means you bought it on some credit, probably, which is a huge problem in the U.S. I should probably do a video on that. And then what did he say? You go buy some more stuff, and then you go work again. Oh man, that was good. Okay.
To buy some more stuff, to then work again and go down this continuous loop of working to live. And in Europe, one of the things that I find, I think is a beauty and a benefit of working and living in Europe is that there's more of a work-life balance. As I just talked about in point number 3, is that you have time off to actually do stuff. And you don't just have this endless working to consume. Don't get me wrong. We go on vacation, so we're consuming what I would call, we are consuming experiences, but we don't live to work, we work to live. And that is a benefit of living in Europe, and I think that is great. And I think the U.S. sells a lie to its people by telling them that you have to work hard to then buy stuff and never do anything. Number 5.
That's true. Work hard, buy stuff to never do anything. And when you do something, like it's rare, like this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't go to Europe or other places, because it's like a once in a lifetime trip for a lot of people, because it costs a lot. You can't come all the way to Europe and only be here for like 4 days. I mean, you got to stay like probably at least 10 days, 2 weeks at least. So that's hard, as he just said, to take 2 weeks off. And then when you do, and because it's once in a lifetime, like, you got to save up, because it's probably going to cost you at least, if you have a family of 4, it's probably costs you at least 5,000 or 6,000 just for the tickets. Then you got to have a place to stay, and you got to have food. You got to do all these things, and it ends up costing you $10,000-$15,000. So not a lot of people can just do that every year. So yeah. And then it's just a cycle. It's like, so you end up staying over there in the U.S. and you don't learn about anything else, because you don't, when you go there, then you're more inclined to learn more about it, because you come over here, wow, it's pretty cool. I didn't know all these things. Like me, I never left until 4 years ago. I've been around a while. I mean, I got like a 30-year-old son, so that tells you something. And I didn't have him when I was 2. so anyway, oh man, this okay. Let me just keep going. I really like this guy's video. I keep saying that, but anyway, let me rewind a little bit.
To then buy stuff and never do anything.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Which kind of ties into the first one I said, but it really is on the Republican right side in America. They always preach, especially during the Obamacare era, 2012, was all about these death panels. They literally produced a video where they were throwing grandma off a cliff because of social medicine.
Make no mistake about it, President Obama and the Democrats who supported Obamacare began throwing seniors off the cliff back.
The evils of social medicine, that you were going to have death panels if you got sick. I mean, how ridiculous of a lie that is. I mean, it's a bold-faced lie. I've lived here 11, 12 years. I have yet to ever see a death panel. I have known some older people. I know some younger people. I know myself. You can walk into any hospital in any country in Europe and there's not a single death panel. What do you expect them to say? Oh, sorry, you had a heart attack last year, Mr. Carl, but since you had one last year, we're not going to treat you for this heart attack because the panel has refused your care. On a side note, you kind of already have that in America. You just have it through the insurance companies because...
Yep. Yeah, he's right.
Guess what they do? Decide not to cover you.
Right.
They say, it's a pre-existing condition. I don't think you can do that anymore, but they'll say that.
You can't do that anymore because of the Affordable Care Act. At least that's my understanding. So
that, or they'll find a way to deny coverage. They'll make it so high to cost to do it that you have to do it out of pocket. And guess what? Now you're bankrupt.
That is correct. And that is almost what happened to me, except the bankrupt part. But, I've said this before. I was paying $1,000 a month, but I needed to have a little procedure, find out if I had any blockage going on because I had a high heart rate. And they don't tell you before that they're going to deny it. You go through the procedure. And a few weeks later, 2 months later, you get a little something in the mail saying, hey, guess what, buddy? We decided not to cover you. So here, you have a $25,000, $28,000 bill now. And nothing you can do about it. So, yeah. And then I'm just curious. I have private insurance here. So I haven't had to use like the public insurance. And I know, at least I understand that there's a lot of like, I don't know. It's like negative thoughts here in Europe about public health, wait times, I don't know, things like that. So I don't know. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that. I know before I was doing this, I was selling Medicare insurance, and it was a tough job because I talked to a lot of people who were just like in their final days, had, mental deficiencies. I mean, there was just a lot going on with the people that I was talking with. But I know any of them would have loved to be covered by the state, so that they wouldn't have to worry about it. And, I have to deal with this now with my mother-in-law. Like, the way that you can get coverage at, when you become a senior is you basically have to dissolve all of your finances. Like, if you can't afford, long-term care facility or something like that, the state will take care of you, but you can't make more than like $900 for the month or something like that. You can't have assets of that more than that. So if you have assets or income or anything, you have to like give it to someone else. Like, you can't have it. Otherwise the state won't take care of you. But if you get it all the way down to that, then they'll take care of you, but you have like nothing. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. What is it like in Europe? Just curious. And I when I say Europe, I know there's different countries. I just mean the countries over here in Europe. What is it like?
So that loops right back to number one. How are you free if you have to live with the pressure of going bankrupt and not being able to pay your bills? Because guess what? You have the audacity to break your hip, get sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. You pick it. So those are the 5 things that I think that the United States lies or misleads its people on purpose to further whatever big business or whatever political agenda that they have to the people. I'm going to leave you with a bonus one.
Okay.
Which is kind of strange if you look at it. Because number 6 is this. In America, every day, all students around the nation get up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance. You pledge yourself and align yourself to the United States flag and to the republic for which it stands.
Right.
Now, that's not something that's common in Europe. In many Western countries, I don't know of any other Western country that makes its kids get up every morning. I do know of one back in 1938, 1942-ish time. Those kids used to get up and actually pledge allegiance to their flag and to their Führer. But I don't know if that's something we should necessarily be doing. Don't get me wrong, I love my country. I'm very patriotic about it. I love the 4th of July for all its. My country is never perfect, but I think it can get better. But that's mine. Hit me in the comments. Tell me what.
Wow. Man, that was so good. That was a really, really, really good video. And yeah, they're like that. I remember one of my sons, I think it was my youngest son, he did something. I got a bunch of stories of like racism and all that kind of stuff for my sons. But anyway, so for some reason he did something that the teacher thought wasn't right. And so she made him go and stand at the back of the classroom and like face a poster of the president. I think it was President Bush at the time. So, I mean, I don't know what the goal was in that. I don't know. But I that is something about the Pledge of Allegiance that I really just had a realization while I was here. Just so weird. You would think I would have had that realization years ago, but I just did probably like about 3-4 weeks ago now that, wait a second, it's called the Pledge of Allegiance and we have to say it every morning. And, we don't even know what the hell we're saying. We're just kind of saying it because that's what you're supposed to do. And they make the whole class stand up. They get on the loudspeaker so the whole school hears it. And they usually pick one of the kids to go down to the office, from what I remember, to go down to the office. And it was like a thing of like, ooh, I get to do the Pledge of Allegiance today. Like you go down to the office and say it on the loudspeaker so the whole school hears you. Yeah, it's interesting. That was a really good video. I really appreciate that, my man. You did a great job. If you like this kind of content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, man. It's really easy and it's free. My name's Greg. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.